Dr. Guyan Smith, the pandemic served as a turning point to push start her music career. She fulfilled her dream to become a medical doctor and has since practiced in general medicine and anesthesia. She's currently promoting her new single titled Pendulum. We welcome Auraiya to share her story. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise.
Thank you for having me.
We're happy to have you. Talk to us about, we're going to go straight into the music and then we can go back to all of the other interesting parts of the story. Just the album Pendulum, why that title?
Well, the Pendulum is actually a single.
The single, beg your pardon.
All right, so the Pendulum simply means being swung between two extremes. And the song is really geared at empowering persons to essentially, if you're in a relationship where you feel as if you do not know exactly where your partner stands or where you stand with your partner, it's basically encouraging you to have the strength or courage to walk away. So she's basically saying to her partner, if you're a female, that I don't know where I stand. My emotions are all over the place because you're not giving me certainty. So that is really what inspired the title Pendulum.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about the album and the work that went into putting this body of work together.
Okay, so we basically want to give, well, this album called The Chronicles of Love is going through the process of searching for love. So the first song I did, which was a ballad, was actually, it's called This Must Be Love. And it's talking about when you're seeking for that emotional person that you can connect with, you found it, the high, the excitement, the thrill. And then we know that beyond that honeymoon phase, you have the relationship phase now, and then you start having some conflicts. So we have the rest of our singles looking at that aspect. And then we went all the way to when you actually have been successful in forming a good, healthy relationship, and that led us to our next single, which is Beside Me. So the album is really designed to take you through that entire journey of love and relationships.
Why is writing about love? Why did you do a whole album about love and relationship?
Well, this is my first album, and it is one of the things that we all can identify with as humans. One of the things that can so easily impact us. So I think probably that's the theme that would have come to me first.
What was the process like for you personally? For some people, writing about love is an expression of what they're thinking or feeling. For other persons, it's catharsis, something to deal with, something that has happened in the past. And for others, it's the hope. So they're writing about things that they may have some parts of but haven't experienced as yet. What was it? What was that body of work for you? What's your personal attachment to it?
Okay, so personally, as a songwriter, we can basically channel the emotions, not only our own emotions, but essentially it is to, well, it's like therapy. So if I believe that this is a topic or this is something that persons would want to express in song, then I can look at that and create that and craft that and put a melody to it. And so definitely by growing up, being alive, I would have had some experiences like that, and I would have had persons around me have that experience. So it's mostly about creating something that persons can enjoy, not so much about me telling a personal story per se, but more dealing with things that we know that other persons can identify with and would enjoy.
What about for you? I mean, I think about the name Pendulum, and I think about how you've moved from one, it seems, kind of expression and career. I don't want to use the word career. I don't like that word. One vocation, it seems, to another. Okay. Tell us about how, because I started out and I said, I wonder if they're introducing the same person, because I'm talking to Auraiya, and we're talking about music, and then the introduction starts with a medical doctor, and I was highly stressed, and I was like, she don't look like, you know, it's not her talking, so it's must she same one for true. So you are also a medical doctor.
Yes, I am.
So how you manage to do that now, Auraiya?
All right, so well, I would say that you grow up, you have this ambition to do music, but it may not be practical at that stage. And my parents insisted that you must have a solid education, and definitely I agreed with them. So I pursued my passion, which is to assist and help people, and I studied medicine. But I always had these songs lingering in the back of my head, playing in my head, and you know, I was there thinking I really need to get these out.
Was it difficult to focus on medicine, or is it that music was always alongside with you through, especially through the years of study?
Well, it would have been my therapy through my years of studying, but no, it's actually me putting it out to the public, hoping that it could also help to be their therapy.
Yeah.
So while studying, no, I focused mostly on studying and practicing. And once I reached a stage in my career where I could make a decision in terms of scaling down on my hours, I made that decision and I said, you know, I have to literally get these songs out.
Was medicine a burden for you as you considered how you wanted to express yourself, creativity, or is it that these two elements of your life are actually things you love? You know,
definitely, I love both. It's definitely not a burden, because as a doctor, you're really focused on trying to help persons, and many times when an individual comes to you, apart from prescribing something to assist them physically, you have to spend time and talk to them and ask them what is happening in their lives. And sometimes you end up counseling them and giving them therapy, which isn't physical, is not medicine as we know it in the traditional sense. So for me,
it's healing.
It's healing, and especially the human mind and the spirit that can affect you physically. So I think
nothing heals like music.
Nothing heals like music.
I'm taking the words out of your mouth because I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
So I think it gives me an opportunity to do both.
To do both.
Yes.
And you probably help as many people with your songs as you do in your practice.
Music probably has a wider reach.
And even more then.
Yes.
And even more. Tell us about how we can find your music. What should we look for? Where should we find it? And how do we follow you to stay up to date with all of your expressions of your art?
Sure. So my social media handle is at Auraiya Hope, which is AURAIYA Hope. And you'll find me on YouTube. My songs are uploaded there, on Facebook and all the social media platforms, Instagram, and the singles are also out on all the streaming platforms,
wherever
distributed by Rocky Valley Records, my label.
All right. Well, what is next? Is it that you continue to promote this album, or are you already cooking up new songs, or is it that Chronicles of Love is the focus for the rest of 2023?
Well, yes, it would be the focus because I'm trying to complete the Chronicles. So I do still have about 3 more singles to be added to it, and definitely to continue to promote so persons can hear the other songs.
All right.
On it.
Thank you so much for coming by. Do you still practice medicine?
Yes, I do.
This is so nice. Well, thank you so much to Auraiya for stopping by. And it is my pleasure, Sunrisers, to let you know that the Reggae Girls advance after a 0-0 draw in their match against Brazil. I am mega just ball.